In this Clarity Jam, I sat down with Manny, the CMO of DemoStack, a platform helping SaaS sales teams deliver better live demos without relying on engineering. Manny had already updated the homepage and was in the middle of a broader messaging refresh. But like a lot of marketing teams, they were still figuring out how to make the site faster, clearer, and more tailored to their customer journey. We broke down the key signals that matter most on enterprise sales sites, from subhead clarity to CTA consistency to how visual trust. Let's dive in.
Manny Ataebi, the CMO of DemoStack.
Awesome. I'm so excited to do this Clarity Jam with you, Manny. So for people who are listening to this for the first time or watching this for the first time, can you tell me what DemoStack does?
Sure. We are a software company that handles the product demo that happens on sales calls. So what we do is, in a typical sales scenario, companies demo the product based off of a staging version of an application. What we're doing is we are giving sales leaders and sales engineer leaders a way to demo the product and make it completely custom to whoever they're talking to. So I can get into how that works, but I mean, that's what we're solving for. So it's about the product demo aspect of the sales cycle.
Awesome. And who are you selling to?
I mean, we are an enterprise product, so we're looking at companies that are like, let's say 500 employees and up, that have an enterprise type of sales cycle. So, doing discovery, having an SE typically come on and demo a product. If you're not demoing a software SaaS solution, this is not a fit for you.
Awesome. And so it's enterprise, but it's also probably horizontal in the fact that you can work across a lot of different industries, or do you?
It is. It's mid-market to enterprise, so like SMB and small, but it's very specific verticals that we focus on. We focus on verticals such as cybersecurity. We focus on dev tech. We focus on transportation and logistics. Anyone that has a complicated product that they want to demo to their prospects.
I love it. And I think we're going to be looking at your homepage today. So if you don't mind, I want to kind of pull it up. So I love what I see here already. Tell me a little bit about kind of what was your headspace or the headspace of whoever was writing and designing the last version of this homepage.
I mean, the design was happening prior to me joining. I joined a year ago. The content on there is something that we just did pretty recently. I'm a big believer when it comes to messaging. You don't go from like 1 to 4. Let's get from like 1 to 2, or 1 to 3 and then jump to 4 because it's just too much of a change, right? I found that the messaging we had originally was a little too high level. It didn't really talk about the demo aspect and what we're solving for. I believe that when someone comes to your website, they should kind of know what you do, but in the context of the pain you're solving for. We only kind of I think our messaging was like close more deals or something, and people didn't know what it was, right? So in terms of the look and feel, this is some branding work that was done prior. We wanted to be very approachable because we are selling to sales leaders. We are selling to sales engineer leaders in software companies. So we didn't need it to look like something that I'm selling to an engineer, right? So we did go with an approach, a brand approach of simple, approachable. We have the hands on there. Wanted to go a little bit lighthearted, something that you would remember. And then in terms of the content, this was the goal, was to get it to be a little bit more specific. I think there's another iteration coming behind this where we're going to be a little more blunt about how we talk about this stuff.
I love it. You were literally just feeding right into my next point, which is, can I be blunt and say you're definitely more specific than you were? And in my experience doing a lot of work, particularly in the mid-market side, the biggest telltale sign, and it's almost like a running joke now, is someone's about to go up market or go enterprise when the messaging becomes a lot more broad and visionary. And I actually think you kind of already are doing a much better job of that with your H1 being share your best demo, close deals faster. However, something that you mentioned before is you work in a lot of, the DemoStack works in a lot of specific verticals. This makes it almost feel horizontal. Have you thought about adding something in here that says, hey, we're specifically for cybersecurity, and companies like that in your niche?
I think we have that under the who we serve in terms of areas, but we do focus on those. There really isn't many verticals that we don't sell into, but the way that you have to look at it, it's not as much industry um, is the product that the company selling what we would call a complex demo.
Mhm.
For example, if this was a social media analytics tool that like somebody on their first day can demo, we don't really need, that's not a good fit in that anybody can demo. One of the big use cases we solve for is in those complex ones like dev tech, like cyber, like transpo. It's a very technical, deep product that you have to bring SEs in because in most cases they don't trust AEs to get on the phone and demo. But as a prospect, I know that that's frustrating to me because you're telling me this story and now I got to wait for a second or third call to actually get a look at this thing. And what's happening is SEs get on a call and they're not qualified. And that's just burning out the SEs. And in some of these more complex ones like cyber, hiring SEs are not easy.
Mhm.
Like you're trying to find like a engineer with a comp sci degree. It's not like an AE became an SE. So you want to make sure that you're pulling them into like bring in an SE for deep dive use cases, like real problem solving versus like I'm going to log into the home screen and all this stuff's going to happen. Or the demo goes down. Or I'm going to click to this screen. Oh, no, this isn't the right one. We've all seen that. Uh, oh, wait, this isn't the data I want to show. Like the fact that like that happens on a live demo, and it's happened to me as a prospect on many demos, very recently actually, where the rep was demoing and he couldn't get it to work. Like if I didn't know that brand, that's the death of the sales cycle. So if you think about the problem we're solving for, it is a little bit horizontal, but realistically, it's about velocity. The longer it takes for me to show you what we do, the longer the sales cycle is, and time kills all deals. I think everybody knows that. That's what we're trying to fight against.
You just said something that I feel like is probably what I would lean into more than anything else, that will convert better than anything. And you already are kind of hinting at this in your subtext, which is customizable demos without relying on engineering help. Yeah, you're already hinting at exactly what that is. My thing would be is like you just said it yourself. Velocity and time kills so many deals. Have you thought, and be totally blunt, just leaning entirely into that in your H1? And then also, do you think the visuals, which I like the whimsy of it, but like that demo in the illustration feels like something that you would, that like an AE who doesn't necessarily need to be, super technical could do on their own. And I wonder if that image tied in with everything else with the copy you have is maybe not, it's not bad, but it could, be a little bit stronger.
It could be. I mean, the A's can't typically do that on their
Yeah.
own. They're not entrusted in these orgs. Like I said, if it depends on the product. It's not the look of the product. Um, you know, I mean, if I was going to give feedback to that image, I would say I would probably have a lot more tabs on it
Mm-hmm.
because one of the things we find with customers is, you have one product that you can demo, right? The way that it works in most organizations, it's not everybody has the same, but 90% of them is you have your application, they create a demo environment for you to demo, a staging, whatever it is, and you work off of that. If you want to make another one, you have to go to engineering. That thing will take weeks to honestly put together. So what they do is they open a bunch of tabs for what they think are the use cases versus like in this case, the AEs or SEs, they don't need to go into engineering. They can do this themselves. So it's not only that, but it's also the ability to change what's in the demo. So like, a good example would be like, I'm a cybersecurity company. I'm trying to show in our product, like we're showing you inside of your cloud accounts and we're selling to a bank, it would be nice to when if I clicked into that one, it would show me like bank information, personal information, versus if I was like a healthcare, I would want to go into the cloud to show what's going on in there, and it would be PHI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they don't know where that is, and there's just no way you're going to memorize that. So in the demo, they can do things like so they know they can even put prompts and guidance to be like, go here if you want the healthcare one, or if I'm talking about transportation and logistics, like, so we're showing fleet management software of where the trucks are going. Well, I want to see what's on the trucks, but what am I going to start playing whack-a-mole to figure out where it is? Um, this one will kind of tell me. So so I would probably want to maybe add more tabs to show complexity. That's what I'd probably do to your point with the image.
Yeah. You just described that so much better than that image does right now.
Sure. It's my old design hat. I haven't done it in a long time, but like, yeah, that's what I would probably
Yeah.
do.
I love it. Question on your navigation menu, you actually do a pretty decent job of, unlike what I've actually kind of joked is a lot of navigation menus for software look like Chinese buffets where there's
Yes,
too many
and if you
CTAs.
looked at the site 60 days ago, I mean, especially in the footer, there was, I mean, I would ask you to go into Wayback Machine and you will see we had 100 links there. So what I did is we pulled them down to the primary thing. We rewrote a bunch of these pages to make it very clear that like this menu had 20 things in it. And we also put a pricing page. So we are actually showing our tiers. So, because I believe that if you're trying to come in and you're looking for a solution that is not ours, and that's just not a good use of time. We are selling to these organizations that have that kind of a sales cycle and that many AEs and SEs. Again, we're doing mid-market to enterprise. We're not doing only 10,000 employees and up, but like if you're 10-person company, this is not going to be for you.
Yeah, I love it. I love the confidence of the fact that you have pricing on an enterprise site. My one question I do have, and bravo for already streamlining your CTA so much. What is the difference between products and capabilities?
Sure. So products, the way we have several products. So, the demos that I talked about is you got to think about it as a live demo, right? I'm on a sales call. What am I showing you on the follow-up calls? Then you think of the sandboxes. So after the call, you can think of that like a leave behind where you can go in there and play in an environment we set up for you, or a POC. A lot of these companies do a 30-day POC. So instead of going to engineering and taking 2 months to put it together, you can put it together, or they can put it together. Like that's what it is. And then what we call product tours, which is, and there's a lot of players in that space, but it's something you put on the website that somebody can just click through. It's, a few screens that are trying to represent quote unquote the product. So that's what we're thinking about product. If you go into capabilities, I'm going into like, for example, we integrate with Salesforce, with HubSpot, with Slack natively. We're talking about those things. So when you have your AEs or SEs demo, we integrate to have that intel going into Salesforce. So we talk about that. And then we go into how it works, which is the technical details. If you think about the product pages, it's more like, here's what we have, what it solves for. How it works, it's like we talk about replicating demos and what that process looks like. It's more technical.
Yeah,
But that is a page that did not exist 60 days ago. This how it works page.
interesting. I almost wonder.
So you can see if you look in here, it's like we're talking about cloners and overlays and mobile app demo. Like we go in the weeds
Yeah,
a little bit.
I like it. I almost wonder if I don't think that's I to your from what everything you said, like I see capabilities and I would not necessarily think to assume this is where the how it works product tour pages or where integrations are. Have you ever thought about putting integrations directly in with products or something like that, or even under resources and removing capabilities? So you stream on your CTA even more, and then also put some of the
Yes.
things that are in how it works directly on your homepage because it probably should. I feel
It's
so things
it's
to say
there
just
and
there.
it's also there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that if we scroll down, see how it works, it's right
Yeah.
there. So I wouldn't put it under resources because that's where we have like content and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I purposely didn't want to put it under products because I wanted to show the different product sets we have because they're very unique from each other. They're different stuff, and I wanted the pricing to be there. So we got our four
Yeah.
Ps, not intended to have the four Ps, like the four Ps of marketing, but like um, maybe capabilities isn't the right word, but like, I did want to separate it out because I just felt like majority of the people are going to spend time here. I didn't want to pull them into this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, also it could literally just be underneath maybe just get rid of capabilities altogether. And just let it do the heavy lifting within the footer and within your homepage.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that as well.
Yeah. And that also just kind of further streamlines what you're already doing with the Chinese buffet. One other really small thing before we kind of get farther into their homepage. Have you thought about just making sure that your CTAs are super consistent? So instead of saying talk to us, just have it be like, get a demo across each one.
I actually like talk to us better. This is
See
a
what
challenge we have
converts.
on the back end of the site of trying to change the buttons. It's a work in progress. They'll all say talk to us. The reason why I don't like to say get a demo is
Mhm.
because when someone clicks that, um, they're expecting a demo right off the bat. And realistically, like we do demo on the first call. Like again, we're gonna eat our own dog food here, but like if I click on get a demo, which a lot of companies do, I think I'm just going to get it right there. And in this
Mhm.
case, you got to talk because we got to see, we don't know, like, we don't know what to show you. Like, is your use case you want to have your A's demoing? Is your use case, we have customers where they want their channel partners to demo. Is their use case one of our use cases is enablement, internal enablement. Like they want to train internally on how to demo. Like we don't know that until we at least have a conversation. So talk to us means like, okay, we're going to show you what we have. The other thing that I think we are going to do is we're working as we finish up the messaging, I'm going to put a explainer video on here,
Mhm.
like an animated video, but I don't want to do that until we got the messaging to where we want it to be, because you don't want to do that twice. But I think realistically, I'll probably see the platform will be like, you know, walk through or something like so they can watch what it is and then I believe in talk to us as a call to action because they are trying to communicate with us.
Yeah, just make it consistent so
Yeah,
you're not just
absolutely.
fluffering between the two.
Absolutely.
And to your point, an explainer video instead of that graphic would be killer in the H1.
Yep. That
And
is the plan.
love it. And that just further kind of explains the fact that you do product tours, sandboxes, and also demos. Having all of that just be directly above the fold is gonna do so much to build
I
trust.
mean, I wouldn't put all three products. I mean, we have one platform, but like
Yeah,
the majority, the use case is the demo one, right? We do
yeah.
the tour stuff, but that's not what we lead with. There's plenty of vendors that do that. So that's why the main call to action is about the live demo. Because that is 99% of the use case we're solving for.
Yeah, then just make that be front and center
Yep,
within that explainer video, and you're gonna see trust and deal cycle shorten, pretty much guaranteed.
absolutely.
Scroll down.
Sure.
Okay. So I like it. You have a lead of social proof, and it definitely looks like it's enterprise companies. Love it. Zero notes there. When demos deliver, deals move faster. Maybe play on a little bit more to the fact that it is that heavy lifting line where it's like, customization, customized demos without the engineer. Lean on that more
Yep.
than what you're already doing. And maybe instead of the illustrations, have either screenshots within the product, doing something that just makes it feel more custom and enterprise and less like illustrations from 2016 to be blunt.
Yeah, I mean, just my guess is again, this stuff, that was the stuff that was here. My guess is, our product has evolved very quickly.
Yeah.
And anything we would have shown from the product is probably changed. So I think when these images were created, I'm going to say a couple years ago is my guess, maybe a little bit sooner than that,
Mhm.
but like that was probably the case because this company evolved quite a bit in the last 24 months.
Yeah.
Like the product, I mean, the kind of customers we're closing, the kind of deals we're closing, it's completely 180'd. So I think that's why I do think we do need to update the graphics or show the product. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
I might even do like animated graphics. But again, that's a major overhaul. We kind of, I believe let's start with the content because I do feel like most people just they live here
Yeah.
on the top.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're dead on. Scroll down. I won't beat a dead horse on the images, which sounds like we're super aligned. Product software demos that whenever buyers.
Yep,
Now you're talking about product tours, live demos. Okay, yeah,
yep.
sandboxes. Your three things that
So
makes
each of
sense.
these is, links to the page. Um, and then we talk about the different types of demos that you do. You do the pre-call, which is the
Mhm.
product tours. in the call is the live demo, and then post call is the sandbox I leave for you.
Yeah, this would be really killer. And I know this is a ton of work. Having it almost be either a different image or a different explainer video for each version. So if they click on pre-call, they click on in-call,
It
and they click
does.
on
It's
post-call.
just my browser's kind of not doing
Oh,
so good. You see it
nice.
changed?
Yes. But I would maybe take this step further and have it be like some sort of explainer video so they can really see the differences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's our what you have there is pretty good. Cool. You have more social proof.
Yep.
Makes
And
a
then,
ton of
this has
sense.
a hover that you can go through, right?
Love it.
I,
Built for
I want,
enterprise, of course.
I thought these were important because you want to show the native integrations. And again, being SOC 2 certified, selling to software, that's kind of a thing you have to have,
Yeah,
right?
totally. I no notes there. That's
I don't love
competent.
this image here because these look real and this looks like a graphic, but like I'd have to figure out what we would want to put there. Um, I don't want to put clip art and I don't want to put random faces either. So I'd probably want to think through what that is. And then we have, different content pieces.
Yeah. For the content pieces, what is walk me through a little bit, and obviously this can usually it's sometimes an afterthought on our homepage, and generally kind of the last CTA if people aren't ready to talk to you yet. Tell me like why you chose obviously your framework. I think there's a webinar, there's an ebook, and then there's a case study.
It's doing it in like, I mean, it was just a choice and we update as we go. Sometimes, we want to have different kinds. Like I didn't want to have 5 blogs there because we
Mhm.
do webinars. We do have guides. We have other stuff. I'm sure if you scroll to the right, we probably have press release and stuff like that. We were just trying to mix it up. Some of this is old, some of it's new. This is new. I know that for a fact. This is new. Um, we just did this, I want to say 30 days ago, 60 days ago. Um, you know, uh, I do think eventually we're going to do a redesign. Just, you kind of can't do everything at once.
Absolutely. Although I find something really interesting and a little bit suspect, and I see this all the time. Why is your best case study buried in the featured resources section when you already hint to it within the social proof book, which is the Gainsight case study?
Yeah, I mean, it's here. I think it probably links to it, but I don't know for a fact. And if it's not, probably should.
It does not link to it. I would
Yep.
maybe just say in general, I love the testimonial block. Keep it, but maybe have another block on here that literally is just saying, hey, here's the Gainsight case study, and let that do the heavy lifting for you because right now it is buried at the bottom of your homepage and probably the strongest social proof you have.
Yeah, and one of the things I did do is I closed pop-ups. So we usually have a banner that shows like a
Mhm.
content piece we want. I just X'd out of it just so we could see everything. See the hands are happy
Mhm.
that I did that. Uh, yeah, absolutely.
So many good insights on this. Anything else?
No, I think this was fun.
Yes. Awesome.